Let's now turn our attention to Ethiopia. The Ethiopian government and the Tigray rebel forces have signed a peace deal. This is a step towards the permanent end to the hostilities that started almost 2 years ago. The peace deal was mediated by the African Union. Our next report telling you more.
Peace seems to be on the horizon in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian government and regional forces from the Tigray region have signed a peace deal. The agreement has been described as a cessation to hostilities. The African Union mediated the deal. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo was in charge of the mediation team.
The two parties in the Ethiopian conflict have formally agreed to the cessation of hostilities, as well as to systematic, orderly, smooth, and coordinated disarmament.
The deal has been signed between the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government and the Tigrayan forces. Notably, Ethiopia's neighboring country Eritrea and other regional forces within Ethiopia were not invited for the peace talks. There has been no mention about whether these Ethiopian government allies will abide by the truce. And though the peace deal has been signed, the AU will be monitoring its implementation.
This moment is not the end of peace process, but the beginning of it. Implementation of the peace agreement signed today is critical to the success of the process.
The war began in 2020. It started when Ahmed sent troops into the Tigray region on the 4th of November. He said the region's ruling party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, was attacking military bases in the area. But tensions had been simmering since 2018. The TPLF is a guerrilla movement turned political party which dominated Ethiopia for 27 years. Ahmed was earlier allied with the TPLF, but his elevation to the top post in 2018 ended the TPLF's political dominance. Ahmed signed a peace deal with Eritrea in 2018. It ended about 20 years of conflict between the two nations. It even won Ahmed the Nobel Peace Prize in 2019. But the TPLF was furious. Eritrea was the front's sworn enemy. In 2020, the TPLF defied Ahmed's decree to postpone elections nationwide. They held elections in Tigray, that's seen as the tipping point which led to the war. The conflict has been raging for about 2 years. It has led to a humanitarian crisis in Ethiopia. With starvation and lack of medicines plaguing the Tigray region, millions of Ethiopians have been displaced. Both sides acknowledge the horrors caused by the war.
Our people have been killed, not only through bullets, but also for lack of food and medicine. Our children do not go to schools. Our hospitals are not functional because of the war. We have always felt this war was imposed on us, and we have always been ready to do everything in our power to stop this war.
We thank our brothers from the other side also for their constructive engagement to allow the country to put this tragic period of conflict behind us. It is now for all of us to honor this agreement.
There was a truce which began in March this year, but the hostilities resumed after 5 months in August. Will this deal end the hostilities for good? There is hope for now. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.